Your spare room income just became a legal minefield, and you will not realise it until the enforcement letter arrives. One wrong move, and you are facing £30,000 in fines, even if you only have one lodger living with you. Here is the part that will keep you up at night. If they are found to be a tenant rather than a lodger, you cannot evict them, not without a court battle that takes months, not even if they stop paying rent. Councils are expanding licensing schemes across the UK right now, quietly targeting ordinary homeowners who thought renting out a bedroom was simple extra income. Mortgage lenders are threatening repossession for breach of terms. Former lodgers are claiming back £15,000 in rent through tribunals, with help from no-win, no-fee companies actively hunting for cases. And it is all happening in 2026. The rules change forever on the 1st of May. If you are renting a spare room, or even thinking about it, this is what you need to know before your lodger becomes your biggest financial nightmare. Across England, councils are quietly redrawing the boundaries for anyone renting out a spare room. What once felt like an easy way to earn extra income now comes with a maze of licensing rules that can catch out even the most careful homeowner. In Reading, a new additional HMO licensing scheme now covers properties with just 3 unrelated people, including the owner. Barking and Dagenham, Bexley, Peterborough, Birmingham, and parts of Hammersmith and Fulham are all expanding their own selective and additional licensing zones. These are not just aimed at large landlords. In some boroughs, even a single lodger can trigger enforcement if the rules are not followed exactly. The stakes are high. Councils can issue civil penalties of up to £30,000 per offence, bypassing the courts entirely. It starts with a letter, no warning, no negotiation. Since December 2024, councils have the power to impose borough-wide licensing without central government sign-off. 10 weeks of local consultation is all it takes before every homeowner in a district must pay for a licence, allow inspections, and risk fines for missing paperwork. Penalties stack quickly, one for lacking a licence, another for missing a gas safety certificate, more for incomplete records. The government is now considering raising the ceiling to £40,000 per breach from May 2026, increasing the risk for anyone treating a spare room as a side hustle. Many only discover the rules when the first enforcement letter arrives. Councils act as investigator and judge. Ignorance offers no protection. The result, ordinary people blindsided by life-changing fines, with no warning until it is too late. A spare room can feel like a safety net, but the legal ground beneath it is shifting fast. What looks like a simple arrangement, a friend, a student, or a colleague paying rent, can flip overnight into a full-blown tenancy, stripping away a homeowner's right to easy eviction. The law draws a sharp line, but it is not always where you think. The first trigger is the main home rule. As long as the owner lives in the property as their main residence, the person renting a room is usually a lodger. But even a temporary move, 6 months abroad, a long work contract in another city, or staying with family, can mean the lodger's status changes. Suddenly, the property is no longer your main home, and the lodger gains powerful tenant rights. Exclusive possession is another trap. Give your lodger a key to a lockable room, or convert the garage or loft into a self-contained space, and you may have created a tenancy. The difference is simple but dangerous. Tenants cannot be removed without a court order. And from 1st May 2026, Section 21 no-fault evictions vanish. That means you will need to prove a legal reason, like serious rent arrears or antisocial behaviour, to get your room back. And the process can drag on for months, even years. Many homeowners stumble into these pitfalls without realising it. A homeowner leaves for a sabbatical, only to return and find their lodger now claims tenant rights. Someone adds a lock for privacy, not knowing it hands over exclusive possession. The consequences are severe. You lose your right to reclaim your own home on your terms. Ignorance is no defence. The law does not care if you meant to become a landlord. With the Section 21 escape route closing for good in May 2026, the risk is no longer theoretical. One small mistake, and you could face a legal and financial nightmare in your own spare room. The shock comes when you realise it is not just fines you are facing. If your property falls into the licensing trap, even by accident, your lodger or tenant can demand every penny of rent back for up to a year, and soon up to 2 years. This is not a rare technicality. Rent repayment orders, known as RROs, let occupants claim back rent if you have missed a licence, failed a gas safety check, or slipped up on paperwork. No conviction is needed, no warning, just a tribunal hearing and a check with your name on it. No win, no fee firms such as Justice for Tenants and Flat Justice are actively searching for cases. They scrape council records, run ads on social media, and even approach tenants directly, offering to handle claims in exchange for a cut. Homeowners who thought they were running a simple side hustle are suddenly facing demands for £15,000, £20,000, sometimes even £25,000. The current law caps claims at 12 months' rent, but from May 2026 that doubles to 24 months. One student in London won back over £18,000 after discovering their landlord had not applied for the right HMO licence. The process is designed for speed. The tribunal needs only proof of breach and proof of payments. The money flows out fast, and it is the homeowner left scrambling to explain the missing income to their bank. Mortgage lenders do not wait for the dust to settle when a spare room arrangement goes wrong. The moment a tribunal orders you to repay rent, or a licensing breach appears on council records, banks can be alerted. Sometimes by the claimant's solicitor, sometimes by data matching with local authorities. Most residential mortgage contracts spell it out. You must ask for written consent before letting out any part of your home. Skip this step, and you are in breach of contract, even if you only took in a single lodger. The cooperative bank, for example, will allow lodgers, but may hike your interest rate by a full percentage point. HSBC limits consent to 27 months, then expects you to reapply or move back in. Santander charges a fee of £295 just to consider your request. If the lender finds out you have let a room without permission, they can demand immediate repayment of the entire mortgage, or even start repossession proceedings. Insurers take an even harder line. The small print often states that any undeclared letting voids your policy. If there is a fire, flood, or theft while a lodger is in place and you have not disclosed it, your claim can be rejected outright. That means you could be left with no cover, just as you are facing fines, tribunal orders, and the threat of losing your home. The financial fallout does not end with the council letter. One slip with your lender or insurer, and a spare room can turn into a wrecking ball for your finances. Add one more person to your spare room arrangement, and the entire legal picture changes, sometimes overnight. In many parts of England, the moment a third adult moves in, your home can cross the line into what councils call a house in multiple occupation, HMO. That threshold is not always 5 people as many believe. Local schemes in places like Reading and Peterborough now set the bar at just 3 unrelated adults, including the homeowner. Suddenly, what felt like a harmless side hustle becomes a regulatory minefield, and you could be breaking the law just by having 2 lodgers and you under one roof. A homeowner in Birmingham learnt this the hard way after taking in a second lodger to help cover rising bills. Without realising it, she triggered additional HMO licensing rules. Months later, a council letter arrived. No licence, no paperwork, and a penalty notice for £30,000. Her argument that she did not know the rules fell flat. The tribunal's position is blunt. Ignorance is not a defence. If you did not check the council's requirements, that is your responsibility. In their view, it is a simple head count, and the law expects you to know where the line is drawn. One more occupant, and you are no longer just running a spare room, you are facing criminal liability. May 2026 brings a perfect storm for anyone renting out a spare room. 6 new offences land at once, each carrying its own penalty. The risks do not just add up, they multiply. Licensing breaches, missing paperwork, and right to rent failures now sit alongside brand new offences for refusing pets without reason, demanding too much rent in advance, or failing to give a written statement of terms. Each one can trigger a separate fine, and from May, the ceiling for each penalty climbs even higher. Rent repayment orders double in scope, letting tenants or even former tenants claim back up to 2 years' rent if you slip up on licensing or safety checks. No conviction is needed. All it takes is a tribunal, a breach, and proof of payment. Lenders and insurers are now watching council databases for enforcement notices. One misstep, and you could face a £70,000 nightmare, with multiple fines, lost rent, and a mortgage lender demanding repayment. The system is stacked so that a single spare room can trigger a cascade of legal and financial chaos, with ordinary homeowners caught in the crossfire. Right now, even a single spare room can land you in a legal minefield. One missed licence and you are risking a £30,000 fine or worse. Councils are not waiting. Ignorance will not save you. Check your licence, check your agreements, check your lender before your spare room income checks you. Stay vigilant.